It's time for a Titan.
Shake that.
That video review.
Hey Transformer fans, Titan Zed here, back to do another video review, and as you can plainly see in front of you, we're doing a video review of Transformers Siege Ultra Magnus. Now this is an awesome figure. Oh my goodness. This is the Ultra Magnus figure I have wanted for years, which was the natural evolution of what the G1 Magnus was based on. Now, for those who don't know, the Generation 1 Ultra Magnus was built on, was using the Powered Convoy set. Now, the original G1 Magnus was actually supposed to be a completely original design, like much of the other Transformers in the Transformers movie. But due to unknown problems at the last minute, it went back to total inversion on that, using the last bit of suits, using one of the last few figures Hasbro had not imported from Japan, from Takara, from the Diaclone range, which is the Powered Convoy suit. So basically, Generation 1's convoy, regular convoy, is what we know as Optimus Prime, the red truck with the trailer. The Powered Convoy is a blue version of the trailer, with a blue version of the truck, which has a car carrier instead of the trailer. And the car carrier would transform into basically a powered up mech suit for the already big mech suit to pilot. Really cool. You can guess why I'm liking this. This figure actually takes sort of a natural evolution towards that in the way it was designed. Whereas the entire car carrier parts here will form the armor that will surround the white cab Optimus Prime mold. So yeah, this is a very nice Transformer in my opinion. I highly recommend it. I hope I can get this back far enough for comparison shots. Might not be able to due to his size, but yeah. I might have to go handheld for that, but yep. I love this figure. It's not a perfect figure, but it's close. It's really freaking close. So yeah. I'd say its only real flaw in vehicle mode is probably this big gap here, which I think is just kind of unavoidable for how it transforms. And the fact you can, you can see his feet, Ultra Magnus's feet, and because of the way they're cut, which they're cut in a permanent A stance, it leaves, these feet looking like this. I'm thinking having a regular set of feet, Hasbro, would have been the better option. Just saying. If you were going to give him feet articulation to begin with, so we could assume an A stance, really doesn't make sense to cut the feet into a permanent A stance then. So, yeah. Now, the figure itself, unfortunately, can't really do any car carrying itself like the G1 figure and the Combiner Wars figure can. That's just mostly due to how it's built. You could set one car up top here, I suppose. There does seem to be some grooves that may suggest that ability, but overall, it's no big loss. Now, to do a little bit of comparison, and I don't know how well this is going to work, I have, first, the other Ultra Magnus figure I own. Unfortunately, I do not own a G1 Ultra Magnus. I really wish I did. But yeah, you can see these two. And while you can't really see it here, you definitely can see that the new Siege Figures leader class option really isn't a leader class anymore. And I'll explain more of that when we get to the full robot mode. So we have that. And I have the previous Transformers Power of the Primes Rodimus. They actually look pretty good together. I like them. I will fully admit them using what almost kind of looks like Transformers Robots in Disguise 2001's Ultra Magnus's front cab section. Kind of looks weird, I'm not gonna lie. I don't get why they decided to homage that one, but oh well. What you gonna do? So if you give me just a second, people, I'll be right back to show you the Optimus Prime, or the cab's robot mode. Okay, almost forgot to show the cab off without the trailer attached. My bad. As you can see, yeah, the trailer kind of hides a few pieces of the inner robot's robot mode. Yeah. They really never intended this figure to be sold by itself. Eek. Oh well. What you gonna do? It still ain't a bad figure. I can think of much worse Optimus Primes. Much worse Optimus Prime designs, so oh well. Well, onwards and upwards to the robot mode. And here we have the cab's robot mode. And wow. Obviously, its proportions are more designed to be attached with the cab on it. When you have the Voyager Optimus Prime from the Siege line, you can definitely see the proportions are a lot more further off. But overall, it doesn't make a horrible robot mode. Just well, kind of remind me of Transformers Energon Optimus Prime. Which is interesting, because I had an interesting theory of what the remold of this figure was going to be for the Leader Class Optimus Prime figure. We have now found out is actually based on Transformers Cybertron Optimus Prime, or in Japanese, Galaxy Force, or Transformers Galaxy Force, Galaxy Optimus Prime. Or Galaxy Convoy, I'm sorry. So, yeah. Interesting. Not the worst figure, although I do kind of wish that the homage to Generation 1 went as so far as to have the second peg on the gun upside down, so you could spin it around and have it hold it like the G1 figure would. I kind of wish that homage went that far, but what you gonna do? I do, however, like the fact you do roll the bumper up a little bit so he doesn't have it sitting on his backside in this mode, although it will be in his full Magnus form, but there's enough armor there that it doesn't look bad, at least. But overall, it's not a terrible mode, but it's not meant to be sold as an individual figure, so obviously some sacrifices some sacrifices were supposed to be made in order to make the full Ultra Magnus mode look incredible. And trust me, that mode looks incredible. Now, to do some quick comparisons, here we have the Hot Rod figure from Power of the Primes, and they're about the same size, so not bad. And then we have Minimus Ambus from the Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus, if I can get him to stand. He doesn't like to stand on this surface too much. I don't think he's going to stand. Yeah, there. So yeah, he's about a Voyager class sized figure. Not too bad. So give me just a second. Okay, we're back. Now I'm going to do something that's a little different for my channel. I don't usually show the transformations anymore just because I try to keep these videos somewhat under a decent time limit. So, and with the Transformers getting more and more complex the bigger the size class is, I generally just skip the transformations. I figure there's other channels that can do it way better than I can on showing how they're supposed to transform, but with that said, I am going to show you how to put on the armor to Ultra Magnus. Starting with the feet, they just slide right on, which is very nice. Now, he actually has a piece that helps flip out to form the waist piece for Ultra Magnus, which I thought was really nice. It's a really cool idea. You just slide his arm pieces on, which is, on the one hand, I do think is nice, but I really feel like having new fists would have worked better for this figure. Something along the lines of the protector of the City Commander armor for Classics Ultra Magnus. If anybody remembers that old fan project upgrade kit. The City Commander just came with a brand new set of fits that just slide over the top. I kind of think that would have worked maybe a little better here, but that's just me. Sorry about that abrupt jump cut. I got through that entire combined sequence and realized that his entire everything from about the shoulders and what would be his head and his full robot mode was completely cut off by the camera. This is why you check your shots before you can do the entire transformation, kids. You're gonna get something cut off camera if you're not careful. So, as I was saying, you attach the shoulders, the shoulder pylons, here. Come on. No. There we go. Attach the shoulder pylons here. And then you drop what will be the head, chest, and back to Ultra Magnus. And boom, you have the best looking Ultra Magnus figure, in my opinion. Oh man, do I love this robot mode. Does it have a few flaws? Yes. Is there a massive flaw with the overall new leader class design? I will get into that in just a second. But I still love this figure. This is, like I said at the beginning of the review, the Ultra Magnus I wanted. This is just the natural evolution of Ultra Magnus that I wanted from Generation 1. The inner robot form being attached into armor pieces that form a new, bigger robot. That's just awesome. But it just looks very nice and very much like Ultra Magnus. Like, it just looks really good. Like I said, there is one issue I would contend with the some of the issues with the robot mode. Some have to do with just I think certain joints need to be tightened up, like in his hip joints moving out are a little loose, and with the armor on it kind of weighs it down just enough to make it a issue with posability sometimes, but not too often. And as I said originally in the first part of the combining video, I think having a new fist attach over a smaller fist would have worked better in the arms. And just my opinion though on that. But other than that, it's awesome. Now, we get to the big problem I'm having with the leader size class, at least going forward with the new size of the leaders for Transformers Siege. Because honestly, they're not leaders anymore. The size is not leader class anymore. It's more akin to Ultra class. And to easily show what I'm trying to prove, let me bring in Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus and him absolutely being dwarfed by this Ultra Magnus. Yes. Yeah. Needless to say, this is not really a leader class anymore. He's just too small in that to be called leader class anymore, and that's really something I'm having a bit of a problem with. And with Ultra Magnus, it's not the biggest issue in the world. With the other leader class figure, for what you're getting, it's definitely an issue, but I will get into that when I talk about Shockwave. So there, that's Combiner Wars. And as for Rodimus Prime, yeah, that's not supposed to be right. They're supposed to be the same height. Yeah. I think Hasbro might need to release a new Rodimus Prime figure. something a little closer to Ultra Magnus's height. Yeah. What you gonna do? But despite his change in height, and despite the change in price, which is about $6 more than what the leader class figures have been for the past 3 series, I still think this figure is absolutely worth it. If you can find it, go ahead and pick it up. Now, we do know this figure is being remolded into, as I said before, I believe, Transformers Cybertron Optimus Prime, and the initial pictures we've seen are not good. From what we've seen, it is awkward looking at best. I want to hope that's just bad photography, but the fact that this amazing figure makes something then makes something look sort of derpy is kind of beyond me. And I'm kind of surprised I didn't actually fully call it, given the fact that these side cannons Ultra Magnus is sporting are identical to the side cannons Cybertron Optimus Prime has on his original robot mode from Transformers Cybertron. So they intended for that figure to become Cybertron Optimus Prime, and I'm sorry, at least the initial photos I've seen, it just doesn't look good. But this Ultra Magnus is fantastic. Absolutely, unbelievably fantastic. I highly recommend this figure to anybody who's an Ultra Magnus fan, to anybody who's collecting any of the Transformers Siege characters. If you can only get a couple, this is definitely one you need to pick up. So, until next time, this is Titan Zed saying I'll see ya when I see ya.